Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to give you 5 proofs that narcissism is a spiritual disorder. And that's what it is. Quick shout out to a friend of mine over at Soldier Up Productions. We talk about this fairly often, at least we have at times, and he just did a video similar to this that's worth checking out. So again, Soldier Up Productions. He's got a great channel over there and a good guy. 5 proofs. So here we go. This is the first one. And guys, these are things that they cannot be explained any other way than spiritually. One is there is an energetic exchange that occurs with narcissists. These are the craziest things. I've said this many times, they know when to come into your life, like the devil does. Remember when Satan tempts Jesus at a very opportune time? He's on a fast in the desert, in the wilderness, we'll say, and he goes when he's weak, and he tempts him with 3 different things. And then it fails, and it says that Satan left him for a more opportune time. Meaning when you're in the right situation, the devil comes with things at the right time, in the right place, in the right situation. And narcissists come into your life like that oftentimes too. They will come in when it's just the right thing, when you are maybe vulnerable somehow, or maybe you just got to a really good place in your life, and the devil says, we're going to try to knock this one down a little bit. But somehow they know. And they also know when to come back. I'm going to get to that one in a second because it's actually very interesting. They know when you are pulling away. You know, the funniest thing is, because most people that talk about this don't believe it's a spiritual issue. Many of them don't. And there's a channel I follow that talks about avoidance. And I did a video on that recently. Very similar to a narcissist, very toxic. There's some key differences, but this is still toxic. But she actually said recently that I don't know how they know, but it's like they can just feel when you're pulling away. And I'm not making fun of her, but I just want to say, connect the dots. You just said that they can feel that you're pulling away. How do they know that? And specifically, they can tell when you're pulling away in the relationship, because that was big time for me. My desire for this person started to greatly subside very quickly from an act that God was doing in my life. And boy, did she ever feel it. And she did. She put out all the stops. And I didn't even tell her I was going to end thing. Nothing. She felt it. But here's the thing. They actually know down the road. Say that you have no contact at all. You're not texting. You're not friends on social media. You have no connection at all. But you're struggling and you're going through breaking the spell. And if you finally get to a place where you have closed the book and you've moved on, they know it. They know it. Some of you have experienced this. Drop comments if you have. They will reach out or do something out of absolutely nowhere right about the time that you have actually just moved on. And this has happened to me, guys, multiple times with toxic individuals. Not just narcissists, but again, they're all very similar. It's still a spiritual disorder every which way you look at it. I will have no contact with them whatsoever, nothing, and I'm finally moved on. I'm good. And then right then, almost that day or the next day or two, you get some kind of little peck on the shoulder from this person somehow. How do they know? It's an energetic exchange. They know when to come, they know when to return into your life because they feel it. Even if you have no contact with them at all, they actually can feel it. How do you explain it? Psychologically? Their brain knows, or no, it's an energetic exchange. They feel it because it's spiritual. There's a spiritual connection there, and there are spiritual entities, demonic entities who have attachment on their lives, and they are relaying these things to the narcissist. Here's another one, another piece of evidence that it's a spiritual disorder. The narcissist lives, and I'll dare say thrives, in chaos. They literally must destroy anything that is good. They have to. Remember something, the devil never creates. What has the devil ever created? He never makes anything. All he does is come in and destroys things. That's it. Doesn't create anything. He just destroys. And that's the narcissist. And they have to destroy. They're on assignment to do it. How many times when you were with the narcissist did you think to yourself, why can't this just be good? We were doing fine. Things were just fine. No problems, no war, nothing. And then out of nowhere, they've got to start something. And you sit there and you just pound your head and you're like, why can't this person just behave? Why can't they just let things be good? They'll concoct the most insane things just to start arguments and fights and create turmoil because they have to live in that chaos. Blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of God. I did a video on this. The narcissist is the chaos maker. If things are going well, they will blow it up. They must. So if any of you guys still think, and I talk about this a lot, that the narcissist is getting it right and it's great with this person now and they're letting things be peaceful, please tell me you're joking. Don't you remember what you went through? How many times did you think to yourself, what else can I do? There's no reason why things should be like this. And you finally get to a point maybe like I did, and I was like, it's not supposed to be this hard. Why is it like this? There's no reason why it should be this way. But there is, because they're spiritually disordered. They thrive in chaos. The devil thrives in chaos. He creates it. The narcissist, only people of the devil, only people of the darkness require chaos. They require it. They get more energy and more feeling from that than they do things going smoothly. They don't like that. They do not thrive in any kind of stability. And if you have stability, they will disrupt it every single time. That's spiritual. That's a corrupt person who has to take peace. As I've said before, you want the easiest litmus test of all time to determine, is a person that came into my life from God or from Satan? Easy. Do they take your peace or not? If a person takes your peace from you, they are from the enemy. If the person brings peace or at least allows you to maintain your peace, good chance they're from God. It's that easy. The narcissist will always bring chaos. They will always steal your peace. So every toxic person, it's actually just that easy. If you feel unsettled, it's not right. And speaking of which, good segue. The way they make you feel is just downright unnatural. It's unnatural. It's not common to feel this way around people unless there's something badly wrong with them. Remember back, how uneasy were you in that situation? The uneasiness that you feel is just weird. And you probably felt it early on, as I did. Before you even knew anything about this person being corrupt, there were just times where you're with them and you're like, I just have there's unrest in here. There's unrest in my spirit. Something's not right about this person. And of course you brush past it. You don't trust your gut, neither did I, because you don't know what you're dealing with. Well, why do I feel this way? They haven't really done anything, but because the Spirit of God's trying to warn you early on. And in fact, there were actually times, I kid you not, if you felt this, drop a comment, where I would walk into the room with this person. Because obviously we lived at different houses. Didn't live with her, nothing like that. But I would go over there and just occasionally you'd walk in the door and the room was just thick. It felt oppressive, dark, like something is off. It just doesn't feel, the pressure in the room is so thick. And you almost feel like when you interact with that person, for no reason, you don't even know what has occurred. Probably they're in some kind of treacherous mood. One of their kids or something got them upset. Something made them upset, or they did something behind your back really filthy, and therefore there's this warring of spirits going on. Don't tell me that you didn't experience that at some point, or maybe many points. And then the room is, when you leave, when it's like that, the room is almost lighter. Where you go, it feels like you're stepping into the light, into the brightness, and that pressure subsides because you're away from that person. Was it like that all the time? No, it wasn't always like that. But there were just those moments when you're like, ooh, what is this? That can't be explained in psychological terms. That out of nowhere, oppressive, dark energy feeling in the room, there's no explanation for that. That's unnatural, meaning it's supernatural, meaning it's spiritual. And otherwise, another note, the spell that they put you in under, I have to mention, is otherworldly. Nothing on this earth makes you feel the way that they make you feel. Have you ever experienced it prior to the narcissist? Have you ever been with somebody as a friend or a companion or whatever and felt the same way that you did with them? No. And having dealt with multiple people in this vein, I can tell you that they make you feel different than anyone else. They hijack your systems. They hijack your neurological systems, and your every single part of you feels like it's taken over. Like your emotions are just dependent upon them. They hijack your whole emotional system. And that's not natural. There's no way to explain that in a psychological term. Yes, they do all these highly abusive things, and we have names for all of the things they do, but this is because they're coming from a corrupt person. Triangulation, yeah, we know what it is, but it's a corruption. To actually execute that is casting a spell basically on somebody. To put you in the trauma bond that they put you in is unlike anything. And you guys can experience this. You have. It's this sickness, this deep, dark, inner sickness that you feel. And it's almost like that person is wearing a giant magnet and you have a magnet in your body that just pulls. It's pulled toward them. Like you can't explain why you feel that strongly about somebody. You don't feel that way about other people. You only feel that way about them. And and afterwards, how you just ruminate and you think about them constantly, almost an obsession. That's not natural. Why do you think it is? That's not something that happens common to a normal human being. So the spell or the trauma bond is the worst thing to deal with. It's one of the hardest things on earth to break because it's a form of witchcraft. It's spiritual. You're not breaking just a normal bond. You are caught up in a deeper level with someone that transcends this world. There's an energy transfer that goes on. That is what has happened. They're exchanging energies with you. They're exchanging everything. And that's why you're so caught up and you can't separate from the person. And then after the relationship, guys, people especially who don't go to God, you got to go to God for this. You have to. It's a spiritual thing. But people who do not, especially, I have read so many comments from people and gotten messages and seen these on other people's videos, and they'll say, it's been 3 years and I just can't stop thinking about this person. It's been 5 years and I'm just awful. Some people never get over this, guys. That's how deep it is. You think that's natural? What did they do to you? They cast a spell on you. Not by sitting back and reading from a book or something. Some of them, although do get into witchcraft, no doubt, but they cast that on you by their spiritual energy and the terrible, dreadful things they do to you and the exchange that takes place when you're with them. So that trauma bond, try explaining that in natural terms. You've never felt like that in your life. There's nothing that makes you feel that way. Such a deep ache where you just pine for a person beyond all belief that you can't. And then when you're around them, you're still in the relationship and you're around them, it's like, ooh, all right, I'm good again. I got that little hit. I got that dopamine hit. I'm good. It's an addiction. But it's not an addiction to some sort of drug or alcohol or a visual thing like pornography. It's none of those things. There's nothing tangible there. It's this energy that's unseen. It's spiritual. Another thing, their behavior is simply out of control. People who are spiritually corrupt do out of control things. Their life is it's helter-skelter. It's a mess. Basically, they just do things. You'll know what I'm talking about, some of you. It's like they're just living and they're just doing stuff. There's almost no rhyme or reason at times for the things that they do because they're out of control. Yes, they purposely manipulate you and stuff, but there are other times where it's like there's nothing in here. They're just doing stuff. It's almost like a toy that has a malfunction. You've seen that? Some little malfunction in the toy that makes it keep going, doing the same things. Maybe it has several different words it can say, and instead it's like, That's what they're like. They're like a malfunctioning toy. They're like a computer program that has a glitch, and it stays stuck on that screen, and it keeps repeating. Remember the old NES, the Nintendo? You get those glitches and stuff, and other systems too, but in games, where it's like the thing, it can't get off of where it is. It's a glitch. It's like they're glitched at times. Another way to put it is, they move like a tornado. There's no path, it's just chaos. That is the hallmark of a spiritually disordered person that has no ground, no root, no foundation. They do not have the Lord in their lives, who is the sustainer of all of these things, of peace, of proper thinking, of wisdom, of reasoning. They don't have that. It's also why they make the most horrific decisions. They can be with the best people on the planet and they'll blow it sky high and go off to some Fatboy Slim. They'll go off to somebody who is a joke. And I'm not trying to make fun of people, but I mean, they downgrade so badly sometimes. It's not always, but if they go on to someone else that's even decent or good, they're going to blow that up too. They're out of control. That's not a spiritually stable person. Sound people of spiritual stature don't operate that way. The narcissist can't think 2 steps ahead. Everything is right now, right now, right now. This life, now, now, now. Not just this life, but this second, this moment. Well, what about 5 days? They don't think ahead. If they did, they would see the judgment that's coming their way and they would repent. But they don't see that either. They have no holy fear. Some of them might believe in God, the existence of God, but they don't follow him. And they certainly don't have any holy fear, because if they did, they'd get on their hands and knees and repent. But they don't do that, do they? They're out of control. They're spiritually disordered. Many of them flat out hate God, and they'll tell you that. Others, worse, will pretend to follow the Lord and be the devil in disguise, which is worse. So their behavior is out of control. And here's the last one. And guys, this one, if you're still in doubt, this one says it all. How do you explain the fact that they all do the same things? People talk about it. I've talked about it. It's the playbook. The playbook gives them away. And the playbook is one of the biggest ways you know that it's spiritual. Because there's no reason on earth that people who are spatially separated, different genders, different parts of the world, don't know each other, different genders, like I said, all these differences, and they do the same exact things to you. They behave identically. They're all on that loop where they meet you and they love bomb and then they devalue and then they discard or get discarded, force the reverse discard, and then they hoover, oftentimes, not always. And they all do this. Their whole life is this, with everybody, with everyone. And within this cycle, you have all those evil practices. They all triangulate. They all bring up exes in other people to make you jealous. They do weird flirtatious things in front of other people. They walk ahead of you. They take off their wedding or engagement rings, oftentimes as to appear single. They all do these things. They all do those jabby little sarcastic, critical remarks. They all just degrade your character. A female narcissist, for instance, guys, is always going to go after your manhood. Somehow, some way. Brian, I want a man. You're not a man. And the other ones I've met of toxic nature, they go after your manhood. That's not a coincidence. Why are they all linked up? It's as if they're all scattered around the world, but they're all linked up to this big cloud system where they get all their data. And they're programmed. It's like they're all taken, they all start in this factory somewhere where the devil sits back with his tools and winds them up and programs them and sends them out into the world. And yeah, he looks different and she looks different and he's from here and she's from there and there's little personality differences, but they all do the same things. That's not a coincidence. That's not psychological either. These people grow up in different backgrounds, totally different settings. Why would they not be just unique? Why do they behave exactly the same way? If you notice too, the people of the Lord, the people of the light, the narrow path walkers, they have the same characteristics too. They have their own unique personality. The narcissist doesn't. But people of the light have their own unique personality, but they also share common attributes because those are like the Lord's. And all the narcissists share the same attributes of their father, the devil. I know this is something, every time I do one of these, I do also lose subscribers, and I know other people who do too. And I don't care because I'm not here to earn brownie points from somebody. I'm here to tell the truth. For all these reasons I mentioned and a host of other ones, narcissism is a spiritual disorder. And I just told you 5 reasons why. So understand what you're dealing with. You have to be garbed in the armor of God. That's it. It's a spiritual battle out there in the world, period. Because there's so many of these people running around. You need to have the right protection. You need to have the right source, the right power on your side, because they have the dark power on their side. So garb up in the light, understand what you're dealing with, and understand these people are rotten to the core, and they will take you to hell with them if they can. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful. Drop comments below. I will come at you with another one soon. Until then, God bless.